Over the past few decades, investment summits have become high fashion for many Indian states, in which big-time investors are wooed to glamorous investment summits, in which billions worth of MOUs are signed. But what happens next? The red carpets vanish, and investors are often left to coercive trade unions, a maze of regulations, an unhelpful bureaucracy, and powerful politicians. Kerala makes a ready example. If you did not know, in the ease of doing business in India ranking 2020, Andhra Pradesh comes first, Uttar Pradesh second, Telangana third, and Kerala comes 28th. Just why Kerala is considered a shaky investment destination was revealed again this week. One Congress MLA has raised 5 serious allegations, mostly related to pollution or using rusted or retired equipment, against one of Kerala's better known and one of its very few large manufacturing companies, Kitex Garments. In normal course in India, one vengeful politician can spell the end of a company, because we work less on established norms and systems and more on political whims. But Kitex Garments Managing Director Sabu Jacob is not your regular entrepreneur. His company employs more than 11,000 people directly, a very large number for any private company in Kerala. It specializes in infant wear and exports almost exclusively to the United States and makes roughly 1 million pieces of kids wear every day. And more than all of that, the 2020 political party initiated by Sabu Jacob now governs 4 panchayats in Kerala. Jacob has dared the politician to prove any of his 5 allegations, offering 100 million rupees each for proof of any of those, or 500 million rupees to prove all 5 charges. Jacob's plight simply underlines the reason why Kerala is ranked 28th in ease of doing business. But why business alone? Whether you're in the farm sector or the factory sector, Kerala is slippery ground. Let's look at the farm sector first. Kerala's Land Reforms Act of 1963, which lays claim to more equitable distribution of land, put a ceiling of 15 acres of land holding for all crops except 7, namely rubber, coffee, tea, cardamom, cinnamon, cocoa and cashew. But what it also did is to fragment land holdings to unviably small plots. In 2012-13, Kerala's plantation sector had revenues of 210 billion rupees, which dropped to 99 billion rupees by 2018-19. And Kerala's plantation sector employs roughly 330,000 people. For years, Kerala's planters have been pleading with the government to let them plant more profitable fruit trees like rambutan, mangosteen or avocado, but permission is still pending, meaning a planter cannot decide what crop to even interplant in his estate. I asked Jose Matthew Kochukudi, a rubber planter and winner of India's Federal Agriculture Ministry's Plant Genome Savior Award.
കാർഷിക മേഖലയെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം സർക്കാർ വാഗ്ദാനങ്ങൾ മാത്രമാണ് നമുക്ക് തരുന്നത്. പഴയ ഗവൺമെന്റും വാഗ്ദാനങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് തന്നിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. പുതിയ ഗവൺമെന്റും വാഗ്ദാനങ്ങൾ മാത്രം. ഇപ്പോഴും ഇവര് കുട്ടനാട് പോലുള്ള സ്ഥലങ്ങളിൽ വീണ്ടും ആ നെൽകൃഷി ചെയ്യുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് ഇപ്പോഴും ചിന്തിക്കുന്നത്.
Tashkent Paikada, secretary of the Kerala Local Cattle Breeders Society, says politicians are thriving by turning landowners and laborers against each other. Like farm, like factory. Thomas John Muthoot, chairman of the Muthoot Papachan Group, which has roughly 200 billion rupees worth of assets under management, says promises to investors in Kerala do not match reality.
Problem in Kerala, most of the time when they are inviting investors, they all are coming with a lot of endues, and then once they come in, that hand-holding is not there.
Government interventions in Kerala have even managed to devastate sectors like the cashew industry, in which Kerala was once a global leader. I asked J. Raj Mohan Pillai, chairman of the Beta Group, one of Kerala's larger cashew sector players, how Kerala's cashew industry has gone into steep decline.
The policies that the unions, which is supported by the government, takes is, you cannot restrain anybody. You can put in your machines, but you need to simultaneously employ all the people.
No wonder Kollam in South Kerala, which used to be India's cashew capital, accounting for 96% of the business, now has a 16% share. Raj Mohan Pillai tells me that 8 cashew factory owners have committed suicide during the lockdown. And Vietnam has overtaken India in cashew exports. 2 sectors that have been relatively free of political intervention and trade union activism have thrived in Kerala, namely IT and tourism. Even in these dark days of COVID, tech companies like IBM, Nissan Digital, EY, Infosys and TCS are either planning new businesses or expanding operations in Kerala. The same cannot be said about the tourism sector. Tourism pioneer and innovator Jose Dominic says, tourism has been the first hit, the worst hit and the longest hit sector. The Travel Agents Federation of India, Kerala, estimates that some 100,000 jobs have been lost in Kerala in the tourism sector and some 20,000 ventures have shut shop. Tourism makes up about 10% of Kerala's state GDP. And the earnings in 2020 has dropped roughly 75% from 452 billion to 113 billion. Owing to its precarious financial position, the Kerala government has only been able to pay lip service to the tourism sector. An offer of a loan of a mere 20,000 rupees to individuals and 200,000 to tourism ventures to overcome the COVID crisis. Kerala's cold attitude to sectors from farm to factory leaves many Keralites to seek their fortunes outside the state. Some 4 million Keralites are based abroad and another 6 million are based in other states of India. And back home in Kerala, the Centre for Monitoring of Indian Economy, CMIE, estimates Kerala's unemployment at 23.5% in May 2021. So Kerala continues to be a good talent hunting pool for the whole world. The first batch of Kerala trained Arabic and Quran teachers have recently left for the Maldives, and next in line is a batch of medical personnel from Kerala bound for Maldives. Kerala claims to have a single window clearance system for approving business proposals, but the maze of rules and regulations can deter any investor, even those who buy a residential apartment. In January 2020, 4 massive building blocks in Kochi were demolished through an implosion because they were considered illegal, even though the buyers of those apartments had thought that they had taken every possible sanction required. Complexity is the hallmark of Kerala's COVID time directives also. For example, you can go for wedding shopping provided you carry an invitation card. Now don't ask who will print one single wedding card for you. Or wedding guests must be limited to 20, but 50 passengers can go in a bus, making many wonder whether it's better to have a wedding in a bus. Or that motor vehicle workshops can open on Saturdays only and spare parts shops can open only on Tuesdays. Kerala's low business activity reflects on the pattern of its revenues also. Liquor, lottery and petrol taxes contribute to a large chunk of Kerala's revenues. Add motor vehicles taxes and they add up to nearly 60% of the state's own revenue, SOR. That's why the joke in Kerala is, don't ask anyone in Kerala, are you drunk? But ask, are you contributing to Kerala's development? But jokes aside, it's a pity that neither the CM nor the industry minister or the industry secretary or somebody from the Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation has reacted when one of Kerala's largest employment providers, Kitex Garments, is being targeted by a politician. While farm and factory struggle for survival, the daily diet of Keralites continues to be politics. The latest being the 76-year-old chief minister and the 73-year-old state Congress president arguing over who was a bigger bully in college. 2 septuagenarians saying, I kicked you and I was about to beat you, and their spat making media headlines for a whole week. Keralites will fight for justice for the residents of Gaza or for those in Lakshadweep, but not necessarily for job providers back home. Investors, see you at the next Opulent Investor Summit. This video is dedicated to legendary Indian athlete Milkha Singh and his wife Nirmal Saini, who was India's volleyball captain in 1955, who both passed away this week. As a schoolboy, I remember the cover of the Illustrated Weekly of India after the Montreal Olympics in 1976, which said 600 million Indians not one bronze. 45 years later, and after having more than doubled that population to nearly 1.4 billion, we are still seeking that first athletic medal. A case of underachievement by India, like underachievement by Kerala. May Milkha and Nirmal rest in peace. Thank you.